Today we continue with our bear gun series and revisit two old rivals, the 41 Magnum versus the 44 Magnum. Last time the ammunition used was a 210 grain soft point in 41 Magnum and a 240 grain jacketed soft point in 44 Magnum. The 41 Magnum only made it halfway into the second board, while the 44 Magnum made a shallow indentation in the third board, taking the title of Bear Gun King. I am revisiting this particular series due to comments requesting a hotter 41 Magnum load that rivals the 44 Magnum. This time I will be using hardcast ammunition. The 41 Magnum will be in a 265 grain flat nose from Underwood Ammo, while the 44 Magnum will be in a 305 grain flat nose also from Underwood Ammo. I figured this would be a closer comparison since the 265 grain is a heavy for caliber load in reference to the 41 Magnum. The 305 grain is not the heaviest load for the 44 Magnum, but it is still considered a heavy load. I felt that if I went any lighter, it would be an unfair comparison for the 44 Magnum. These two bullet weights are considered very capable rounds for a person's woods defense needs. Another measure of fairness I added was to use a 5-inch barrel for the 44 Magnum, since the 41 Magnum was a 6-inch ported barrel. I am hoping this will even out the loss of velocity for the 41 Magnum. I suspect this will provide the 41 Magnum with a slight edge, but I could be wrong. With no further ado, let's head out to the range and find out which round will be today's Bear Gun King. Before heading out to the range, I would like to give a big shout out to Carol and Vincent's Rifle Range for sponsoring our membership and providing us with an exceptional opportunity to film our videos in a safe and friendly environment. See you all at the range. Welcome to Armas, everyone. Today we have the 41 Magnum versus a 44 Magnum. And back here behind me we have the LVL boards, which are stronger, denser, and more uniform than pine. Okay, so up first we have the Model 629 in a 5-inch barrel, and the reason this is 5 inches because the other barrel, even though it's 6-inch, it's ported. And we'll be using Underwood Ammo. This is 305 grain, and these are flat nosed, and these are hard cast rounds. So let's see how it does. So this here up next is a Model 59. This is a 41 Magnum, and it's a 6-inch barrel, but it's ported. Now we're going to be using the 265 grain, and this is a hard cast from Underwood Ammo. So let's see how it does. Let's see how it did. Okay, so we're 3 yards from the target. And once again, just to recap, this is a 44 Magnum, 305 grain. And this is a 41 Magnum, that's 265 grain. So let's see how they did. Okay, so first up is a 44 Magnum. So it went through the front area. And you can see there's an exit hole right through the back. So that's the first one. The second LVL board, you can see there's an entrance hole. Let's see. And right through here we see an exit. And this is the second one. And right on the third one, you can see right there, and it actually went in. And it's almost completely tapered, but not really, because we have a little lip right there. So it was almost on its way in into the third board. Okay, so now the 41 Magnum went through the first board, entered through there, and that's a huge exit right there as in comparison to the 44 Magnum. You can see it right there. So this is the first LVO board. The second LVO board, you can see that there is an entry hole. Let's see how it went. And actually, You can see it right there. So it made it out of the second LVL board and made a fairly deep indentation there, and that's in the third board. So actually the 44 Magnum went a little deeper, but not too much deeper. My buddy here is going to be cutting out. This is a 41 Magnum, and you can see it was almost on its way out of the second LVL board, and there was some expansion right there. Wow. Yep, it did expand. You can see it there from the front, and that's a hard cast round. That is a very, very hard round right there, and yet there was a lot of expansion. So that's probably due to the velocity of the 41. So let's see. Let me check the impact indentation here. So as you can see right there, that's probably how it's going in. So this one here, that's a 44 Magnum. So this is a 300 grain 44 Magnum, and it actually got embedded, and it penetrated the third block, and you can see that my buddy's having a tough time trying to get it out, and that's probably because of the power behind that 305 hard cast round. Oh, and there it is. Wow, that went in pretty deep. Okay, so in comparison, that's the 305 grain, that's in 44 Magnum, and this one here, this is the 265 grain 41 Magnum right there. So the Bear Gun King is the 44 Magnum. The 305 grain went through the first board, second board, and lodged itself into the third board. Now the 41 Magnum wasn't too far behind. It went through the first board, almost penetrated the second board, and made a huge indentation, and that was on the third board. So Bear Gun King, 44 Magnum. Today's Bear Gun King was a 44 Magnum using the 305 grain flat nose from Underwood Ammo. 3/4 of the bullet was lodged into the third LVO board. The 265 grain flat nose, also from Underwood Ammo, broke through the second LVO board and made a deep indentation into the third board. The 44 Magnum won, but only by a narrow margin. However, the 265 grain actually showed more expansion and left a large exit hole out of the first board. In reality, both the 44 Magnum and the 41 Magnum in these two configurations are considered very capable woods defense rounds. My friends, summer is quickly approaching, and if you travel into the great outdoors, stay safe and stay armed. We'll see you next time.